Good morning, everyone. Today is a particularly wonderful feast day. It's the feast of Saints Joachim and Anne, and some of you might still don't know who they are. Well, they're the parents of Mary, so obviously the grandparents of Jesus. Um, the reason why they are significant is because Mary, as a young girl, had been given such good grounding by Joachim and Anne that she was able to make that commitment to becoming the mother of Jesus, to becoming the mother of God at a very, very young age. I wonder how many girls in their teens would be able to make that sort of promise these days. Possibly not many. Historically, the name Anne only came about some years after Jesus. Wasn't known, obviously, in the Bible because the Bible was more about Jesus, certainly not necessarily about the mother of Mary, not even necessarily about Mary herself, who we don't see too much of after the death of Christ. And then Joachim, named some years later, sort of, as just in passing, let's give him a name kind of thing. No, not really. Obviously based on tradition. So Anne and Joachim are very well known. They're also the patron saints of grandparents, which is quite right, the grandparents of Jesus, and an important role that they played in the life of Jesus, an important role that grandparents play in the lives of children, particularly these days. We'll say, look at the generations, the things that had happened when I was a little boy, the things that happened then. Well, they've changed a lot, but we can give our guidance. Desiderata says, surrender to the wisdom of the ages. Well, maybe, but they're good examples of parents who raise their children well. And I think these days, when there are so many challenges to parents of children, there's so many distractions, there are so many other forces that are driving them. Sadly, I look at the number of children who come to catechism, and many of them I know. I mean, if I preach over a weekend, as I did previous weekend, that there are a lot of faces that I see at catechism I don't see at mass. And then just say, well, the parents actually took a promise at baptism to raise the children in the faith. Now, how can you raise them in the faith if you're not practicing it yourself? So the best teaching, I think, is example. And therefore, we encourage us, all people, to live as the example that Anne and Joachim lived. So you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.